Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Tex once again, one of your open source cowboys here at Intersect. Today's very exciting. I get a chance to meet with Mr. Jörg Link. He is an open source strategist and the director of sales at Bitergia. Jörg, how's it going?
Oh, it's excellent. Thanks, Tex. Good to be with you.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time to join with me here. Would you mind sharing with the community just a little bit more about yourself before we get into things?
Yes, of course. I am the open source strategist and director of sales at Bitergia. My background has been researching corporate engagement in open source, and I earned a PhD in that. So I've been in this space for a long time. And my mission is to make open source more professional, especially around the use of metrics. And so I'm one of the co-founders of the CHAOS project, and CHAOS is short for Community Health Analytics for Open Source Software. And I'm continuing this work at Bitergia, where we work directly with customers to help them with their metrics.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, I'm glad you brought in chaos. It's definitely a big part of what's going on in the open source world, and more to come in the future. I'm excited to learn some more at the Open Source Summit that's coming up in a few weeks here.
Absolutely, yes. I'm excited for that.
Well, on the current side here, of course, as being part of Intersect, I'm happy to introduce that Intersect and Bitergia have been able to form a strategic partnership. We've been working for a number of months to get a better understanding of the Cardano ecosystem. And moving forward, as part of the partnership, we're happy to announce that Bitergia will be the official metrics partner for the Cardano ecosystem. And that means Core Cardano projects and all of the projects that are related to Core Cardano and going to be managed under the Intersect umbrella here. So we'll talk some more about what we're doing that way. But Jörg, can you tell us some more about Bitergia for our audience, please?
Yes, happy to. I'm super excited that we are partnering up and that Bitergia gets to be the official metrics partner with Intersect and Cardano. We've been in this space for a long time. Bitergia itself came out of university research more than 15 years ago, looking at how is software built in open source projects. And there were no tools available at the time. So the research team built tools to analyze open source projects and ecosystems and open source them. There was so much interest by companies, by foundations, by people who really wanted to understand how is our community working, that Bitergia formed to support this work. And this has been going on for 12 years now. So we have this 100% free and open source software tool chain that we are using in everything that we do. And the way that we make money is on the service on top. So we do the hosting of the platform for people who don't want to mess with that. We also do strategy around metrics and how to make sense of the data, running reports, and really helping people elevate that. Because what we find is when someone is in the community, in the ecosystem, in a foundation, they have really good context knowledge of what's going on, but that breadth of how to represent that in numbers, that's where we come in and we really help elevate that.
For sure. Well, I'll tell you that I myself, Christian as well, and a lot of us here at Intersect are really excited to have access to the Bitergia tool, and we've made some great use of it so far. It's not only been really helpful to give us those specific data analytics on what's going on in our core repos, but it also allows us to look into other projects that we don't manage to see how the rest of Cardano is building and how they're building on the core tech stack as well. Now, that being said, I want to say we're not only excited just to be working with you and partnering with you in this effort here, but we're even more excited to be able to share this with Intersect members as well through our project support services, which we are hoping to bring online before the end of the year. So more on that to come soon. The next part of our partnership, though, is going to be the Open Source Summit, which we mentioned in the beginning. That's going to be, of course, in Vienna, Austria. And I believe, actually, we're down to sometime in the next 10 days when that's going to be happening. So very, very exciting. So we'll have some hotspot conversations, if you will, around the booth that we're going to be having there. And a few things that we're going to be talking about. I'm going to let Jörg give us a little bit of a depth into the analysis that we've seen so far with using Bitergia.
Yes, happy to share some highlights of what we are seeing in the data. And before I get into that, I want to shout out to Tex for really taking on the data curation and digging in with us. It's been a wild ride and a fun journey so far. So I want to highlight 3 things that we are seeing in the data that make me really excited about the future of the Cardano ecosystem. Number 1, the contributor base is diversifying. What we are seeing is that more companies than in the past are joining and becoming very active in the ecosystem. So as the user base and contributor base is broadening, expanding, we're seeing that in the contributors to the project. Second, we are seeing that IOHK, the company, sorry for the balloons. That's the Mac doing that. Okay, so the second, we are seeing that IOHK, the company that put a lot of work into Cardano and kicked it off, is continuing at a very high level, a very high engagement level, but shifting away from purely working on the code to being more and more involved in conversations, in issues, in discussions, which is really helping to create that engaging, welcoming environment for all of those other community members to come in and be part of that project. And third, we're seeing an increase in transparency, and the Intersect folks have really been, and you call yourself cowboys, right?
Yes.
Which I absolutely love. So the cowboys have really done a fantastic job of creating structure for the governance to be transparent, which we can analyze, and we see that engagement is growing across the board. So seeing that community engagement both being encouraged, facilitated, and actually working in growing the community is fantastic. So I'm super excited about the Cardano ecosystem and what the future will hold.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad that you brought in those key points, and I definitely would point everyone back to our Get book for not only the open source office, but also our open source committee here at Intersect. Under the open source office tabs, you'll be able to see our monthly maturity reports, and those would not be possible without the data analytics that is provided by Bitergia. As we move on from that technical side of the conversation, I want to bring it back once again to the Open Source Summit. As I mentioned, we will actually have a booth. We are actually sponsoring part of this event with the Linux Foundation. So make sure to come by and see us. We're going to have a little bit of I guess, a giveaway here. We're going to have some shirts. We're going to have some notebooks, some keychains. And there's actually even going to be a side event that we're having Wednesday night after the event as well. And that'll be at the stage, which is located pretty much catty corner to the events that are there in Vienna. But Jörg is also going to be at the event, excuse me. And Jörg, tell us some more about that.
Well, I'll for sure stop by the booth and get that swag. I look forward to that. Yeah, I have a talk together with Sophia Vargas from Google, where we talk about what can open source project health metrics reveal about project users. And this is happening on Tuesday, September 17 at 2:40. And to give you a little teaser, we did some research to see if we can predict the actual monthly active users based on metrics we get from GitHub and Stack Overflow, which, yes, there are correlations. The second talk is the day after the summit at the Secure Open Source Software Community Day, where I have a panel that I'm hosting on open source software dependency health towards maturity and sustainability risk assessment model. And this is in cooperation with ING and To Do Group. We have different experts on that panel, and that is on Thursday, September 19 at 10 after 12. So thank you for letting me highlight those. I'm excited and hope to see many from the Cardano community there.
Absolutely. I believe we share that same sentiment here. So, of course, if you are going to Open Source Summit, make sure to stop by the booth, but also make sure to pop into these talks with Jörg if you have some time. And, of course, if you're staying for the second portion of the Linux Foundation events here.
Oh, one more thing. from the chaos community, this is not on the schedule. So this is a little inside scoop. We are going to put on the unconference session on how do we support the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, by the United Nations. And we want to have a discussion. This came out of the OSPOS for Good conversation in July. So there will be an unconference session. Keep an eye out for it. It's not on the schedule yet. So,
well, we definitely love inside scoop. So thanks so much for sharing, and remember to bring that in. Definitely want to encourage everyone to stay tuned for any future collaborations, as we will continue to work with Bitergia, of course, as our primary metrics partner here. I also want to make sure to invite you to become a member of Intersect if you are not already. Feel free to reach out to myself and Christian. We're on X, or Twitter rather, at Intersect OSO. That's OSO. I'm also on Discord, in the Intersect Discord, at tex-oso. Again, OSO, Open Source Office. You can also reach us at oso@intersectmbo.org. Jörg, do you have any contact information you'd like to share?
You can find me on LinkedIn, and I look forward to connecting with you.
Absolutely. Well, of course, I'm on LinkedIn as well, and I'll make sure to drop a couple of links here in the description as far as Bitergia's website. Might try to get a sneak peek of what the dashboards look like, so you get a little taste, and maybe that's something you want to be a part of for yourself. Anyway, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you want to see more of. Thanks so much. See you next time.